What's up? Doing a book review today on King, Warrior, Magician, Lover, Rediscovering the Archetypes of the Mature Masculine. So let's dive right into it. So the King energy, and keep in mind these are energies, they're archetypes. So it's not a single person. This can be represented or it can flow through anybody and does flow through all men. So the King archetype, a good example of this, and one of my favorite movies of all time, is Lion King. So the example of Mufasa and how he, in the beginning of the movie, he's explaining to Simba the lay of the land. So he's showing him the kingdom. This is what we protect. This is what we uphold. And it's sort of a metaphor for the values and the things that they stand for. And then he looks beyond that to the shadow realm where the hyenas are hanging out and basically tells Simba, don't go over there because you'll get eaten alive. And it's sort of like the tree of forbidden knowledge in the Bible, in Genesis. But basically what it represents, in that case to Simba, is shitty behavior, screwing up in the shadow realm. So he doesn't want him to do that. So it's about upholding values, and it's about integrity. And it's also about knowing your worth and knowing that you're a king and you're worthy of whatever you may pursue in life. On to the warrior. Now, this is one of my favorites because I identify with it very closely. But the warrior energy is all about pushing through. It's about perseverance. It's you're utilizing the warrior energy when you compete in sports. So, and today we don't fight to the death. It's not legal to have a duel to the death, that sort of thing, where it's a more direct implementation of the archetype. But anytime you're even playing a sport, if you're playing flag football or you're playing pickup basketball or whatever, it is a metaphor, and primally you are trying to kill the other team. Not literally in the physical sense, but you're trying to put them out of commission. You're trying to win the game. So the warrior energy again is about drive. And this is the archetype that gets a bad rap, especially from women in society in general, because again, it's all about pushing through at all costs. And a good example of this would be, man, I forget his name, the Eric Bana character in the movie Troy. So Achilles is actually the bipolar dysfunctional version because he's all about himself. Eric Bana is one, he's a little bit king, but he's mostly warrior. So Eric Bana fights for duty, honor, and higher principles. So, and that's the thing about the warrior is there's gotta be a higher cause, the mature warrior. There's gotta be a higher cause you're fighting for. It can't just be to make a lot of money. It can't just be to get the girl or to get the car. It's something higher, whether that's God, a higher principle, your family, your kids, whatever. Because those warriors are a lot more heady, intelligent, and yeah, that's the warrior energy. On to the magician. So the magician archetype and the magician energy is a cheesy way of thinking about it would be like a vision board. So, but this is your creative energy. This is when the entrepreneur is sitting down and brainstorming about his new company and basically laying out what's going to occur over 3 months, 6 months, a year, whatever. The magician is your co-creative capacity with the universe, right? It's also your ability to utilize technology for your benefit. There's a lot of good examples of the magician. The obvious one would be like the Harry Potter Dumbledore example. So that's that's a really typical, great embodiment of the magician energy, because not only are they creative and they have the ability to sort of manipulate your environment. That's the magician energy too, but it also embodies a ton of wisdom. So like secret and even sacred knowledge of the universe that not everybody knows. So you also utilize it when you're in a sacred space, and it talks a lot about that in the book. So things like meditation or yoga, or even when you're in the gym and really in the zone and kind of in that, that rarefied air. So that's also so like Michael Jordan, when he scores 64 points in a game, he's in his magician energy because he's literally just dictating his environment at his will. And that's a lot of the magician. So it commingles a lot with the warrior energy, believe it or not. So that's a pretty good summation of it. All right, that's the magician. On to the lover. So my favorite example of the lover is a little unconventional because it's not really about, it is, but it's not really about romantic and sexual love. It's about this dude's love for life. And that is from the movie Life is Beautiful. Real quick, awesome movie. You should watch that. And if you didn't know, now you know. It will destroy every hint of cynicism in you, at least for about an hour and a half, hour and 45, whatever. So this guy, long story short, his family gets hauled off to a concentration camp in the late 30s, early 40s. And he tricks his son into thinking that, and this is for like years, you can't really tell in the movie, but it's for years. He tricks his son into thinking that they're just playing a game, and that if he is quiet and he's a good boy, then at the very end, he's gonna win a tank. So cool. At the very end, when they're liberated, and this is at the end of World War II, American troops and one American troop in a tank like opens the hatch and tells the kid to hop in. So he gets his tank in the very end of the movie. But the main character, the dad, just loves life, man. He greets it with gratitude around every corner, always smiling, and just has a zest, that energy. The lover energy is about like waking up in the morning and hopping out of bed because you're so looking forward to your life, and just appreciating your surroundings and just having gratitude in general. So it's also what inspires men to be in nature and go camping and appreciate the sunset, any natural beauty, and obviously to deeply appreciate feminine beauty, and not just in a lustful way, which that is a part of it as well, but also in like the union of masculine and feminine, and really understanding what that means and what that means to the world around you. All right, that is my brief summary. Again, King, Warrior, Magician, Lover, Rediscovering the Archetypes of the Mature Masculine. And this is by Robert Moore and Douglas Gillette. Awesome read, pick it up. They don't need me to sanction it. They've sold a shitload of copies, but you should definitely read this. And just like any book you read, this doesn't have to be and I'm just speaking from my own perspective. This doesn't have to be your Bible. You don't have to live by this and only this. But what it does is it just helps you like extrapolate things out. So you start to think about how each one of these applies to your life. They even have exercises at the end of the book that, like visualization exercises of how to conjure these energies. So just super productive in so many ways. And again, use it for yourself. You don't have to do exactly what they say, but you'll start to think about life situations that you could have handled better, or maybe that you handled really well, and what energy you were exhibiting. And it's just like, it's conceptualizing things. That's why we read, is because it helps you create new pathways of thought. And that's why you should read and not just watch videos, and not just, in my opinion, do audiobooks. You should actually read. It's just a different transition thought-wise. So yeah, that's my review. Hopefully you got some value out of it. If I screwed some things up and references and whatnot, then oh well, but you get the point. And yeah, subscribe. Woo!